Good morning, Agents of Nothing, and welcome to our Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. podcast. We are your commanding officers. I'm Mariah.
And I'm Caroline.
And today we're going to be talking about Season 5, Episode 2, Orientation, Part 2.
Ooh. So, Mariah, how was your week?
It was good. Mostly just work and stuff, and watching Wicked over and over and over and over.
I'm so happy that you mentioned that it's on streaming now, because I don't know why I didn't know that, but now I'm going to watch it.
It is for, rent. Rent or own type streaming situation. But
I kept planning to see it in theaters, and then I just never have.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really good.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So how was your week?
Mine was good. David got a new job. So that's really exciting. We're finally going to be on a similar schedule for the first time ever in our entire relationship. We will actually get to eat dinner together regularly and spend our evenings and weekends together. So it's very exciting.
Nice.
Yeah. I've never gotten to do that before, so I'm really happy to have the opportunity.
Very exciting.
So, shall we get into it?
We shall. So, this episode was written by DJ Doyle and directed by David...
Doyle!
Oh, shit! I forgot! Oh, I'm a fake fan of our own podcast.
I can't believe it! I can't believe you didn't do it.
Oh, no! Can we start over?
I think it's pretty funny just saying it behind it, but yeah, we can start over.
Okay. I have to do it.
You have to.
The episode was written by DJ Doyle! I'm so sorry, DJ. And directed by David Solomon.
DJ, we're so happy to have you back.
DJ. So there weren't a lot of fun facts for this episode, so I went onto the season 5 in general Wikipedia page preemptively to see if there were any applicable things, and I found a few interesting little nuggets.
Ooh.
So to head off, this would have been kind of good to read last episode.
Yeah.
But we're here now. So in January 2017, ahead of the mid-season premiere of the 4th season, ABC's Channing Dungey said that she was very bullish about S.H.I.E.L.D.'s future. And I didn't know what bullish meant. So I looked it up.
Tell us.
If investors expect upward price movement in the stock market, the sentiment is said to be bullish. So feeling positive about the commercial success of the show.
Gotcha. Okay.
Feeling that the episodes just keep getting better and stronger. The series was renewed for a 5th season of 22 episodes on May 11th, with ABC looking to lower the cost of the series moving forward by reducing its budget and licensing fee. Asked whether she had considered giving the season a shorter episode order, Dungey noted that every season of the series had been 22 episodes long, and she felt its prior success in delayed viewership and overseas justified continuing that. She added that the show has continued to grow creatively every season. I feel like last season was its strongest creatively yet. I'm very excited for what we have planned for Season 5. It was reported that Disney, the parent company of Marvel Television, ABC Studios, and ABC, had given a mandate to ABC to renew Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., despite the desire by some at the network to end the series.
Interesting. Wow.
So, I guess...
Thank you, Disney.
Allegedly, someone at Disney was a big fan of AOS.
You know what? Fine.
Yeah. I'll give it to them.
Some of them have to have good taste, you know what I mean?
Some some executive somewhere, some suit has good taste.
You
Just
know
one
what?
of them.
Honestly, probably that suit's 13-year-old daughter had good taste.
That's more likely, yeah.
So,
He's
thank you to her.
like, so help me God, if you cancel this show, my daughter will kill me.
She's gonna cry, and I don't know how to deal with that. I love that they kept doing the full 22 episodes for the season, because if your watchers, if your viewers have been tuning in to 22 seasons,
For all
why would you change that?
for all 22 episodes, yeah.
Don't change it.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Although in the 7th season, they do reduce the episode number.
Those bitches. Ugh.
Yeah,
God damn it.
Unfortunately. Spoiler alert.
All right, well. That's the final season, right?
Yeah, it's the final season.
I guess if they were going to do that on any season, it would be the final one.
So who do we meet in this episode?
Okay. So we meet, I don't know why I only put this one. We definitely meet more people. Was it Cassius or was it Cassius?
Yeah,
Cassius, who had like a floral but like kiss hairband aesthetic, which was interesting. And then we also met Grill.
Who's
What a
just
name.
awful.
What a name. I feel like that is like a... Anyway, I don't know. We meet Grill, who sucks, and also Tess, who doesn't suck, and, well, so far. And then super scary lady, Cree female villain, terrifying. I'm very scared of her. And I think that's it.
I think that's it, yeah.
I think I covered them.
You.
Again, I did not write down any of those except for Cassius, so. Look at me remembering, though. Wow.
Whoa.
So, we pick up where we left off. Simmons and May are trying to wrap their brains around the fact that they're in the future and the Earth is destroyed. And they start getting hit by small meteors, which I realized is like probably pieces of the Earth. All of the meteors around it is like the planet.
I don't like that.
Yeah. But anyway, so they're getting hit by like smaller ones, and I guess this like dislodges something in the ship or whatever, and it makes the controls not work. And so, following the first rule of IT, Simmons tries turning it off and then on again, because
and
that
then
always
banging
works.
on it.
And then banging on it, which is the second rule of IT. And it works. Banging on it worked. And then they narrowly avoid becoming the space Titanic against a giant meteor.
Yeah, I just, as you said, that the meteors or asteroids or whatever the fuck they are that are like around the Earth are like probably pieces of the Earth. The frozen glaciers or whatever they called it, frozen meteors or frozen oceans.
Frozen oceans, I think.
That's probably water from the Earth.
Probably. Oh, fuck.
I hate that.
Ew. Oh, no. That's the Atlantic out there.
Oh, my God.
Damn.
Well, moving on from that terrifying thought.
Cool.
The opening for Orientation is reminiscent of the sequence for 4,722 Hours, forgoing the title card and having the typeface silently fading onto the screen.
Yeah. It's nice. It's very ominous. I like it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Simmons and May join up with Coulson and Deke and start to, like, try to figure out what to do next. They assume that there's not another monolith, since there wasn't one when Simmons was trapped on that planet that she said, but I forgot the name of immediately. Maveth, thank you. May says that they'll have to figure out another way to get home, and then looks at Simmons, who says, sure, I can invent time travel. I'm a biologist, but, give me a minute. I'll figure it out. I love Sassy Simmons. Sorry. Penny! Stop! Come here. Sorry, my dog is eating plants. Another human comes around the corner and asks Deke where Virgil is. This human's name is Tess. Deke fills Tess in on Virgil's death and then his dream come true of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents from the past being here. Coulson asks what he can do to prove they're from the past, and he pulls out a quarter. But she's like, you don't have a metric, and you never did. There's no scar. And that was it. That was all she needed. And I don't know, just him being like, what can I do? What can I do? And he's like, finds the one thing in his pocket, and she's like, your wrist.
All he needed to do.
Yeah. Deke tries to tell them that he's done sticking his neck out. He gives them a pile of metrics to use, and then he's out. But Tess says that she'll pay him double what Virgil promised to continue helping the S.H.I.E.L.D. team, especially Daisy, Mac, and Yo-Yo while they're fighting the Blues. He begrudgingly agrees and then heads off to find them. And when he finds them, he almost gets decapitated by Yo-Yo using the Kree's axe. And I love, he was like, you better, or like, I hope he was sweet on you or something like that. He's pissed that they killed not one, but 2 Kree soldiers. He says it doesn't matter if it was in self-defense, now they're going to murder a herd of people. Missed opportunity to say a murder of people, but I digress. In retaliation, Daisy suggests putting the bodies with the other dead on the station, the victims of the roaches. So then Mac has an idea to move them in the elevator, but to not bring the bodies on the elevator, which was confusing to me, to say the least. Tess tells Coulson, May, and Simmons about what's happened to humanity since their time. But she doesn't exactly have a lot of info. Some cataclysmic event destroyed the world. The Kree showed up to, quote, bring order, and then destroyed all records from the past so that the humans would focus on the future. And now they're all that's left of humanity, and they're just trying to survive. And they're living in what they call the lighthouse, which is this whole, like, space station. When she was young...
She mentioned... Sorry. She mentioned that the lighthouse was, like, an underground bunker on Earth. Yeah. So it's, like, still kind of, like, attached to what's left of the Earth.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Ugh.
Yeah.
Also, it's huge. I was so far underground, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so when she was young, Tess remembers being told children's stories about agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. coming from the past to save them, but the Kree killed off anyone who believed in those stories for real, and Virgil was the only one who kept that hope alive. Coulson asks to see where Virgil lived so that they can try and figure out what his plan was for them. and May asks why they never decided to fight the Kree. Tess says that while the humans may outnumber the Kree have all the weapons, and none of the humans have military training. And Coulson says, we do. He says maybe this was Virgil's plan, to have S.H.I.E.L.D. help them fight the Kree. But she tells them to just keep their voices down and blend in for now. And then she takes Coulson alone to Virgil's room and leaves May and Simmons to try and blend.
Bad idea.
Terrible idea. These are... I know they're spies, but they have never blended in.
No.
Not even once.
So after leaving the series during the 4th season, costume designer Anne Foley returned for the first 2 episodes of the 5th season, before handing over to Whitney Gallitz, who had assisted her on the previous few seasons, and Kristen Channell. Chanel?
Yeah.
It looks like Chanel. Or Chanel. No, but it's 2 L's. It's like Chanel, but with 2 L's.
Yeah. Anne, we missed you.
Anne, welcome back.
And then Mac's idea for the elevator was to put the Kree bodies in the skylight of the elevator. And Deke doesn't even know what a skylight is. Because he doesn't know what a sky is, really.
Yeah. I guess you would never have heard the word skylight.
Yeah. If you don't have a sky.
Yeah.
But we do have a daisy. So. Tess has tons of questions for Coulson about life on Earth and humanity and Sharknadoes.
So this is like not a fun fact, it's more of a statement. Tess thinks Sharknadoes actually happened, and Coulson has to explain that they are fiction.
Which is my favorite thing. The fact that term would have stuck around is so funny.
Sharknadoes.
Because it was such a nothing movie.
But it would kind of make sense because it went so viral.
Yeah.
That
Was it a TV movie?
Yeah, it was. It was Sci-Fi. The Sci-Fi Channel. That's
so funny. I could have sworn... I guess I have, a fake memory of seeing it in theaters or something. But... That's so funny. Sharknado.
It might have had, a theater release after it went viral. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe they just had, a viewing.
Yeah.
Something. Anyway... Coulson tells her how she would have loved life on an actual planet. I love that he says that having known her for about 30 seconds. You would have loved it. I mean, probably she would have, having lived here in this bunker forever. But also, you don't know what she would have loved.
You don't know her like that.
Anyway, they get stopped once by some guy named Grill, who sucks, and he gruffly asks Tess about the unauthorized trawler that went out, and she says that they had to train a new pilot because Virgil's dead. Grill says that's a shame, but now that means that Tess owes double, whatever that means. And Coulson's ready to fucking deck this guy, though, which I loved. He's like, he doesn't know anything that's going on, but... Grill starts getting mean. Getting rude.
Yeah, he starts
to Tess,
getting in Tess's face, and Coulson just kind of very calmly gets in his face too. And what I noticed most in this scene is how blue Clark Gregg's eyes are.
So blue. So beautiful.
We love you, Clark.
Come on the pod.
Come on the pod. Blue eyes. Why did I say it like that?
Come on the pod, Blue Eyes. I love that. I think we should, when we're speaking about the actor, we should only refer to him as Blue Eyes from now on.
Absolutely.
Oh, Blue Eyes.
Oh, Blue Eyes.
Anyway, so Tess pulls Coulson away, and they move on with their life. Max says that they should come up with a better system to get rid of dead Kree in the future because he doesn't want to be dragging them down this hallway anymore. And Deke says, there cannot be any more dead Kree. We are 2 over our max already. And anyway, so the 4 of them are dragging bodies down a hallway to a room where I guess Deke just like knows that the roaches are, and stuff them in. And he's right, they're in there because we hear them immediately. And Deke hears Yo-Yo use Daisy's name, and he says, Daisy, that's a pretty name. Like the flower? And she rolls her eyes and goes, does that work in the future? And he says, I guess not. Here we go again. Everybody's in love with Daisy. Everybody who meets her falls in love with her.
Just immediately. I immediately took note of that exchange. Does that line work in the future? I guess not.
It's no wonder everybody falls in love with her. She's perfect.
In every conceivable way.
She's just like Mary Poppins. Practically perfect in every way. Anyway, Virgil's room is full of artifacts and knickknacks and keepsakes about Earth. Coulson combs through as much as he can looking for clues, and Tess reveals that Virgil had a little crush on her, and she cared about him, but not in the same way. And it seems that Virgil had just this blind hope that S.H.I.E.L.D. would come to save them one day, and that they could put the Earth back together again, since it became Roach Planet and completely uninhabitable to humans. That makes sense now if part of the lighthouse has, like, Earth on top of it, if that's where the roaches are coming in from. I just thought about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, and that Virgil would have believed that one day they would get to experience air and rain and open spaces.
So Coulson asked Tess if she's seen Singing in the Rain, and then he asks if she's seen rain, period, which obviously she hasn't. You know that, Coulson. Like, we've been over this. But she responds with only drips from reclamation pipes, and that is so depressing.
I know. I can't think about it too long, honestly.
Imagine growing up with, like, only UV lights, like, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, growing up underground, essentially.
Yeah. Honestly, I get a headache if I don't go outside for more than, like, or for in over 12 hours or so. Like,
yeah.
I have to have fresh air at some point, and they never will. Never have and never will. Also, I was thinking about this because they have to make their air, I think Tess said.
Oh, yeah. How do you make that much air?
How do you make it? And it's all got to be recycled air at this point. And so, like, imagine how many people get sick because there's never any fresh air.
Yeah, and then, like, apparently, obviously, death is not, like, death is very normal and common and, like, not, you're kind of expected to just move on because it happens so often.
Right.
So I imagine people just get sick and die. Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh. Awful. So Simmons and May are in this like marketplace area, just kind of people watching. And they notice that the humans have next to no tech at all. But the Kree have very extremely advanced tech, like tablets and such. And they comment that Fitz would have been going crazy here without all his gadgets. And Simmons sadly says that somewhere out there, Fitz is doing everything he can to help them. But also, from where they are right now in the timeline, he's already lived his life. Or not lived his life. Which is very sad to think about.
Yeah. So Orientation Part 1 and Part 2 are the first episodes where Ian DeCastiger hasn't appeared. As a result, Elizabeth Henstridge is the only person to appear in every episode of the show.
As she should. But also, I do miss Ian.
I know.
Where is he? Before they can grieve any further, though, something weird starts happening. And 2 male Kree guards and a terrifying Kree woman come in with like a human pick-me man behind them, who announces that the Kree have graciously decided to feed he said, like, those less fortunate or something.
Yeah, something like that.
And then they like turn a lever and this pile of pellets falls out onto the ground, and the people start fighting to fill their bowls. One fight ends up stabbing the pick-me guy. The stabber gets chased down the hallway by the scary woman's balls. She's got these balls that fly after him and then like implode his head in the hallway, which was disgusting and awful.
Yeah. My thought during the whole sequence, Bear McCreary is in his bag this season.
Yes!
The theme for the female villain is so good.
So good.
So memorable. Every time it comes on, full body chills. The bah, bah, bah.
So
Bah,
good.
bah, bah.
Bear, you've done it again. We should clip that of you singing it. And then put it over where anytime that I say the terrifying Kree woman. Bah, bah, bah.
Oh. Okay. So, with that being said, composer Bear McCreary altered his score this season into a synth space opera fantasy. The music in the season was inspired by the films Heavy Metal, The Black Hole, Blade Runner, Akira, and The Terminator. Despite the increase of synthesizers, McCreary kept his established symphonic writing and characters' themes as the foundation of the score.
He's such a genius.
What is happening?
What the hell?
I think someone got a dirt bike for Christmas on my street.
So they're gonna just do donuts in your yard for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, Simmons makes the mistake of letting her medic instincts take over, and she runs over to start trying to heal the guy that was stabbed. She cauterizes the wound with whatever the fuck. May just found something. I don't know what it is.
Like a soldering iron?
Yeah. And so she cauterizes the wound with it, and then the Kree take her away without a word, but not without an intimidating look at May as they pass her. So much for blending in, I guess. Deke and his 3 S.H.I.E.L.D. agents arrive, reuniting most of the S.H.I.E.L.D. team. And he's pissed at Tess for allowing Simmons to get taken. So they go over and fight in private about whether or not to have hope that Virgil's beliefs were true. And apparently Deke's family was killed for believing this stuff too.
The fact that Deke said frickin' is hilarious. Like, I know that it's like a family show and obviously they can't say the other thing. But
yeah.
The way they said frickin' hazardous.
Frickin' hazardous. It's like being in middle school and trying to think you're edgy. It's frickin' hazardous, okay? Anyway, so while they're fighting, the S.H.I.E.L.D. crew decides, or tries to figure out their next move to save Simmons. Daisy says that she'll tail Deke for a while, since he seems to know the most about this place. And Yo-Yo is like, hello, Master Thief here, and says that she can steal a high-tech tablet from one of the Kree guards. She just needs a distraction. Simmons gets led into a beautiful room with like a stone bathtub and like a waterfall faucet and stuff. And one of the human pick-me's gives her a towel and says for her to take this opportunity to change and bathe before meeting Cassius. I keep wanting to say Cassius, and I don't know why. Simmons tries to get information about the man that she saved and ask if he's okay, but she quickly realizes that no one is going to tell her anything about that, and that she doesn't really have a choice in what's happening right now. So she does her thing, and then she meets Cassius, whose eye makeup is insane. Honestly, it's almost like flower petals under his eye.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And the other eye is just kind of smudged, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know, if that's done on purpose, if it's meant to symbolize anything, if we're reading too much into it.
I don't know. It's like, if he wasn't a bad guy, it would be pretty fucking cool, actually.
Yeah.
Anyway. Daisy follows Deke from a distance and then through a secret door into what looks like an opium den. But the drugs are coming from the lights, apparently. And the lights make you pass out and wake up in a framework program. Jesus Christ.
So Deke's got a framework speakeasy, essentially.
Pretty much. Let me say that not yawning. Pretty much. You have options.
Thank you.
Simmons smoothly guesses the right answers to Cassie's... Simmons smoothly guesses the right answers to Cassius's questions. He even might believe that her metric was removed without a scar due to her apparent skilled handiwork in healing, as she was trying to do for the man who was stabbed. I don't know if he believes her or not. You know?
I don't really know either at this point.
Okay.
He's very hard to read, especially because he's an alien and I'm autistic.
You're like, I barely even know human social cues. I'm supposed to read an alien too? Anyway, the rest of the team is working together to steal the tablet behind Tessa's back, and it works. They actually do it really fast and easily. But before they can get anything... Oh my god. But before they can get anything from it, there's an announcement calling for metric inspection or something. All of the humans have to get their metrics scanned by a Kree officer. So Coulson manages to find Grill before they get caught by any of the Kree, and offers a trade of the tablet for 3 metrics installed immediately. Grill says that the tablet isn't really worth as much as somebody who is like willing and able to steal something from the Kree. So he says that if they work for him to like earn it, then he will agree. And so they agree. And he pulls them all into another room with a very slimy smile, and I didn't like it.
No, I didn't like it either. And I noticed that he had like kind of like fucked up teeth.
Yeah.
And like I think like cuz Tyler was an extra in a zombie movie once cuz he has friends in the film industry in New Orleans. Mm-hmm. And they like put some shit on his teeth to make them like almost like to make them nasty looking essentially.
Yeah.
And like I was thinking because he was talking about how like gritty it felt. And that's all I could think when he like had that smile.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that probably feels awful.
Probably. Yeah. I would hate it. If there's anything on my teeth.
No, I would lick it off immediately. Yeah. Like, hope it's edible.
Sometimes, like, I don't know. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and there's just like mucus because I snore a lot. I'll have like, you know, just like crusty stuff on my lips, and sometimes it's on my teeth, and I have to get it off immediately.
Yeah.
There's something on my lip right now, actually, that is really bothering me. Got it.
Nice.
So Daisy confronts Deke in his framework bar, and he apparently recreated the framework from scratch with the tiny amount of information that he had about the original that the Kree, I guess, weren't able to destroy. So he's a fucking genius, apparently. And he now sells Escape as a drug for like simulations of what he imagines Earth used to be like. And he like programmed everything himself. This is insane. Daisy is pissed and says that he's just trading one prison for another. And he says the lighthouse isn't a prison. A prison would be nice. Oh.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
He's not wrong. You aren't expected to kill your fellow prisoners in most prisons.
Right. Like regularly, too.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Coulson, Yo-Yo, and Mac have gotten their metrics installed. Disgusting. I didn't realize that it was like two-sided. And it just like sticks through your wrist. I absolutely hated that.
Yeah.
Awful. The worst.
What I noticed in that scene was like they weren't just like Coulson and Yo-Yo because they had gotten their metrics installed before Mac.
Mm-hmm.
And when they showed Coulson and Yo-Yo, they weren't just cradling their wrists. They were cradling their wrists with a towel underneath it. So obviously it like makes you bleed.
Yeah. Yeah. Awful. Hated it. Hated every second of that. And so they're not feeling good about it. I'm not feeling good about it. We hate this whole process. May and Tess manage to avoid the scanning process, but Tess realizes that this is not just like a count or whatever, it's a renewal. And so apparently if your metric turns red, you quote owe a life and must either die or kill someone else. Which is unfathomable. Like, what the fuck kind of rule is that? And it's like a life spent, a life earned. Which, like, what does that even mean?
I don't fucking know, but she also made a point to say that it's like the low earners or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Like, you're poor, so either kill someone or have someone kill you.
Literally. Oh, God. Awful. Coulson and the others are getting concerned about the screams in the hallway, and Grill says that they'll be safe in here for now, but if that fails, Coulson, Yo-Yo, and Mac will be the first found because, click, their metrics are now magnets holding them to the wall until Grill releases them. Fuck. And
also,
then,
ouch.
Also, ouch. And then Grill and his little henchman guy go through another door to hide in there. One man bursts in with a shotgun looking for Grill, and he says that he was only a low earner because Grill never paid him what he owed, so he says that Grill owes him a life. Grill calls out that he left 3 lives out there for him. Which is just so fucked up. But before the man can shoot one of them, May appears out of the shadows and kicks the crap out of him, even with her bum leg, which is very impressive. But he just keeps getting up, and so Tess ends up shooting him. And May says that the man didn't have to die, but Tess said that someone did.
So, here's a goof. After that very intense scene, the short barrel pump action shotgun used the short barrel pump action shotgun used holds at most 4 rounds, yet many more than that are fired, and no extra rounds were supplied when that was placed on the floor.
Wow. What a goof.
Yeah, what a goof. Really took me out of the episode.
Yeah. And like, not necessarily. You know what? We can prove this wrong, actually. Because
this is the future.
This is the future, and we don't even know how much time has passed since the Earth was exploded. And the Kree have obviously created, like, new technology and have advanced technology since then. So who's to say that they didn't, like, advance this gun to have...
Yeah, what about that?
To shoot different types of things. And maybe it can hold more. Anyway. Take that, goof.
Take that.
Grill releases the others from the wall just before the Kree commander comes in to verify that this is the last life owed. He scans Coulson's metric and says that it's unregistered or whatever. And Grill covers for them, saying that they all work for him and owe him a great debt. So he recalibrated their metrics, and the Kree either buys it or doesn't care enough to call him on it. So Max says then that in trying to preserve humanity, it seems like they lost it a long time ago.
I did think it was sweet that Tess, like, closed the guy's eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think...
But also, her fingers did not touch his eyelids whatsoever.
I saw that. So, the stabbed man that Simmons was trying to heal, he tentatively walks into the room with Simmons and Cassius. And Simmons is obviously concerned for him, especially because he should not be, like, up and walking around yet. And Cassius orders the man to show his wound and asks Simmons if he will heal. She says yes, but Cassius says that he'll scar, and he demands perfection. Simmons says it could look much better with time and advanced procedures, but Cassius says that it's still not perfection. He says maybe it'll be fine because no one will notice it under his tunic. But the small cut on the man's face, however, that can't be hidden. So then the terrifying woman and her balls kill him immediately by, like, just going through his chest.
Yeah.
Punching holes in him.
On either side.
Awful. Simmons is horrified and just keeps yelling, "What is wrong with you?" And Cassius says that she is visual perfection, but needs to learn about silence. And so he sends some, like, silver fluid into her ear that makes her go deaf. And, like, It's not really going to make her silent. It's more making her experience silence. But, okay, I guess.
So it occurred to me afterwards, like after he did that to her, that the stabbed man probably couldn't hear her.
Oh.
For like any of it. Like telling him that it's going to be okay when she cauterized the wound. Like, when he walked in and she said that he shouldn't be up and walking around yet, he probably couldn't hear any of that.
Probably. Oh, I didn't even think of that. Oh. Awful. So, back in the framework, Daisy and Deke continue arguing over the merits of fighting back versus keeping people placid and hopeless. And he says that they can't afford to fight back because if they lose, humanity goes extinct. And then Deke sees... I will say, like, it seems like humanity is going to go extinct anyway because you keep having to kill each other regularly. But whatever. Then Deke sees a news report on the TV and realizes who Daisy is. Now, he programmed this. And so, like, I don't know. Where's this
like,
news
how
report
did they
coming
have...
from?
Yeah, how does... He did say that... Okay, so he didn't necessarily program the framework from what information he had about it. He said something along the lines of, like, I programmed this with what was left of the framework after they destroyed everything or whatever.
Yeah.
So the framework already existed, so I guess that's how he has, like, the news reports and the newspapers and shit.
I guess. Yeah. That was confusing. Anyway. Anyway, he sees the news report on TV showing Daisy Johnson, and he realizes that that's who he's talking to, and he tells her that the only force powerful enough to rip a planet apart is Daisy Johnson herself, and so she apparently was the cause of the end of the world. Which is a lot to put on somebody.
Especially for something they haven't done yet.
Yeah. What the fuck?
You know, in theory. No spoilers.
And then his, like, monologue about Daisy quaking the world apart and how useless trying to inspire hope would be continues over a montage of how hopeless their situation is seeming. Y'all, it's really bad. We only just started this season, but it's really bad.
Fuck. So, the season explores the ramifications of the groundwork laid by Ada for humans to fear S.H.I.E.L.D. and Inhumans. Whedon said, the public perception of S.H.I.E.L.D. is at an all-time low, so we have not resolved that, and there will still be more fallout from it.
Oh, no. There's gonna be so much. I'm gonna be really sad this season.
But, like, it is, like, a good point that I had never really considered, that potentially the reason why Deke has placed the blame on Daisy is because this future...
Oh, because of the fear of Inhumans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Deke, you're racist.
Deke.
Deke. Anyway, okay. And now it's time for the post-content content. Simmons is now one of Cassius's personal servants, gold, face paint, and everything. And it turns out that she's not just deaf, he can control what she hears and what she doesn't hear. So his voice cuts through the silence, saying that she looks well, and he's heard that she's learning quickly, which is just in time for his guests that are arriving on a spaceship. Uh-oh. and Bear coming through again with the score right at the end, because I was terrified. Yeah. I'm trying to write it in a way that like captures how scary it was, but that was all Bear. Thank you.
That was all Bear, yeah. I'll just drop in the score right here. No, I'm not technically advanced enough for that.
Anyway.
All right, overall thoughts?
Kasaya says icky. I did not like the feeling that I had in this episode. Everything sucks. I hate it. But it was really good, and I loved it. What about you? Final thoughts?
Yeah, I don't really have any. It was a really good episode, and I'm just excited for this season and where it goes.
Yeah. Excellent season premiere, though. Like, we are set up for a wild ride for sure.
Yes. Yes. All right, well, that concludes our episode on Season 5, Episode 2, Orientation Part 2.
Woohoo!
Next time, we will be covering Season 5, Episode 3, A Life Spent, so stay tuned for that.
Okay, bye!
Bye, love you!